A lot of bunny hopping and stuff going around. We're going to be getting started in just a second. So we're going to get started as soon as I hit new game here. So we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so starting off Quake, the first thing we can do is we can choose any episode we go to. So we're going to be choosing the hardest episode in the run, episode 4. I don't know. First, because it has a lot of really tricky things going on in it. For instance, this first strafe jump there is quite difficult. You have to walk off and strafe without hitting any of the walls around you in order to land on the platform to skip a majority of this map. After that, we're just going to be swimming through the map. Just make sure this is up. Making our way to the end and moving onward. E4M2, another pretty simple map. It has one particularly difficult jump at the end, however. Unfortunately, getting blocked a little bit. So in this game, AI luck is something that's quite important to have on your side if you want to get good times. Something with this game that makes it a lot more difficult of a run than other games is that, unlike a lot of other PC games where you can use your save load feature in the game, this game you're not allowed to do that in for runs that are generally valued on the leaderboard. Unfortunately, that's extremely difficult to do consistently, pretty much impossible to do consistently. So we're going to be doing an RTA run here instead of a single segment run. That was the difficult jump I was talking about, by the way. Starting off E4M3, we're going to be doing another little tricky jump. You can use ramps to kind of get increased height off of jumps, so we use that tiny ramp there in order to get height. So as you see, a lot of the movement in this run is bunny hopping. Oops. So you're going to be bunny hopping a lot throughout the run in order to get around. I'm going to be, once again, doing this. And here we're going to be going and picking up a quad damage. It's one of the many power-ups in Quake. Pretty self-explanatory. It lets you do 4 times the amount of damage as normal. So what we're going to be trying to do with this quad is doing a quad damage boost, which I didn't do 100% successfully there. Basically what a quad damage boost allows you to do is it will let you, that's unfortunate. Unfortunately got killed by an ogre there. I'm not used to saving a lot of these places, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to get back over there real quick. Maybe get the quad damage boost this time.
See, yeah, knockback in this game scales with the amount of damage you do, or like you take. So taking more damage gives you more knockback.
Yeah, so I couldn't quad damage boost there because I had like no HP. Also, bunny hopping in this game is nowhere near as strong as it is in Half-Life, so it's quite hard to get around without some sort of boost. But anyway, moving on to E4M4, we're going to be boosting off of that fiend right there with our grenade launcher and bunny hopping our way through. Something I'm also doing with my bunny hops, unlike Half-Life, whoops. Unlike Half-Life, where you just bunny hop without hitting W, this game, every time you land, you tap W in order to preserve more speed, which is called a power bunny. There we go. Also, something you may be noticing is that I am shooting my shotgun 4 times every time I shoot a grenade. This is to time my grenade jumps in order to more easily be able to know when the grenade's actually going to land. So I basically shoot 4 shots, and then right after the 4th shot, the grenade will blow up, so that's when I time my jump. Come on. Here we're going to skip this map by jumping over the lava. And now we're going to be moving on to E4M5. E4M, yeah, 5, 6, 5, 6, something like that. Oh, it is. Doing another quad. Wait, did I not have a quad? Interesting. I must have missed the quad. Okay, one more time. So we're gonna make our way through here, and we're gonna be doing a quad damage boost with this grenade launcher here in order to boost ourselves to the top of the map. There we go. Picking up the rocket launcher, which is going to be one of the most important movement tools in this game. If you ever played a game like Team Fortress 2, you know how fun rocket jumping can be, and rocket jumping in this game is just as great. So moving on to, this is now going to be M7. So we were on M6. We're going to be starting to use the rocket launcher to get around very quickly. I'm going to be using it here because I specifically, even though that didn't really save me any time, I specifically, want to have a low amount of armor in order to pick up that blue armor there. Now we're going to be hopping and rocket jumping our way up these stairs. And then rocket jumping across here in order to get the key, grab this invincibility, and then we're going to be shooting these two sequences. If I could, oh, I'm getting SV aimed, oh no. There we go. Unfortunately, by default in this game, SV aim is on, and it can kind of make it so that you could not aim at anything. It's quite unfortunate, but anyway. Sorry about that. That's E4. E4 is the hardest. We're going to move on to E1 next, which is the second hardest. E1 doesn't really have any game or run-ending tricks in it, aside from E1 and 4, which we'll get to later. But E1 has a lot of really particularly tricky movement and a lot of particularly tricky maps. For instance, E1 M1 here is one of the hardest maps in the run to do at an optimal level. An optimal E1 is a 21-second time, but that's pretty dang hard to get. Anyway, moving on to E1 M2, pretty basic map. We're just going to be hopping around. We're going to be grabbing the silver key. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Getting the silver key. Going through this teleporter to go towards the end of the level. Got some pretty decent enemy RNG there. One of the zombie soldiers actually opened the door for me, so I didn't have to wait for that one to open up, which saves a little bit of time. And we're going to be making our way up.
Gaming.
Woo. Anyway, E1M3 introduces really difficult grenade boosts. This one in particular, you have to get the grenade to kind of get stuck. And then you need to jump with pretty precise timing in order to get up there. That skips pretty much the entire sequence after getting the gold key to going back up to the gold key door. Now, if I were to be doing an optimal run, I would be going for a very, very luck-based trick where you drag a zombie over to this blue door here so that it crushes the zombie and opens the door back up for you. Because on the other side of this door, there is actually a teleporter that will allow us to go to the top here. But it's such a luck-based trick that it's super not worth going for in any sort of marathon setting. M4, I don't particularly do the run-ending strat. There's a strat where you can skip the silver key entirely. Unfortunately, it is one of the harder strats in the game, and...
Can I just point out something real quick?
Yep, go ahead.
We are being rickrolled by the main stage.
That's pretty epic, not gonna lie.
I'm not even joking.
That's pretty epic.
And he switched to turn down for what right after?
Okay, oops. E1 M5 is one of the more tricky maps in E1, in my opinion, to do optimally. It's not clear. So first you have to do a pretty precise grenade boost, and then the real difficult part comes in with this fiend right here. This fiend in particular likes to not really work. So like what I need to do is I kind of need to like drag him into this corner without him hitting me. Because if he hits me, he takes off so much HP that it's almost impossible to do this, but we're gonna go for it anyway because I got beamed. Gonna go back here to get this HP, and now we can move up. So yeah, E1 M5 is probably one of the more difficult maps in the run. Didn't go too great there, but we're moving on to M6 now. Just gonna completely skip the map just with a simple strafe jump over the lava to grab the gold key and move on to the end. Now we're going to be fighting one of the two bosses in the game. This boss, you just have to hit 2 buttons and then move on. Quake's a fantastic game, one of the better 90s shooters out there. Doesn't have the greatest of bosses though, so. Moving on from that, we're going to move on to E2. E2 is probably the scariest in the run. It's not particularly the most difficult chapter, but it has some really difficult maps in it. where after you get through the very difficult first 2 chapters, it's very easy to choke on some of these. So when you're on a run that's not only on pace, but also still single segment, this chapter can be very menacing. So what we're doing right now is we're just going to go get the golden key in order to be able to make it to the end of the map. So we're going to pick up this quad here and just spam a bunch of rails, kill a Fiend and Ogre. We just grab the gold key there, and now we're going to be making our way back to where we need to bring it, and then we're going to make our way to the end of the map. Okay, there we go. Sub 40, let's go. Okay. Moving on to E2M3, this strat has a particularly difficult skip that I did not get there, but it's not too big of a deal. You basically can skip that bridge sequence a little bit. And now we're going to be using another grenade boost to get up here, and we're going to be killing this Demon Knight, which will open up this door. We're going to kill this Ogre because he's in our way, and we're going to move on to E2M4. E2M4 is one of the scarier maps in the run. E2M4 and 5, in my opinion, are probably some of the hardest. So hopefully they go well. This one in particular has a very difficult strat at the end where you have to manipulate an enemy to do melee attacks against you, dodge those melee attacks, and then move on to finish the map. So we're going to grab the rocket launcher here, and we're going to rocket jump. Ogre kind of in our way. Excuse me, sir. You're just kind of doing that. And we're going to grab the silver key, jump onto here, grab some more HP. And this is the hard strat. So there's a Shambler up here. These things are big, scary Yeti monsters. We kind of have to shoot not only around it, but we have to dodge all of these melee attacks it's doing, because we don't want to take any damage, because we want to have enough armor to go into the next map without having to pick up any extra armor. So ideally, you basically just don't take any damage from that Shambler at all by baiting him into doing melee attacks against you. So in E2M5, we're going to be picking up those 2 health kits, rocket jumping up here, dodging this Fiend, and since we have enough armor, we're going to be skipping the blue over there in order to do a very tricky rocket jump up there, hitting a button, and then we're immediately going to get ourselves stuck in a wall here. The reason we're doing this is because it skips basically a minute-long sequence where you're just kind of sitting in an elevator, and it allows us to just move on, if we can hit this rocket jump, to the end of the map and get ever so closer to the end of episode 2. All right. E2M6 is going to be quite the slow chapter. Not too much exciting going on in this one, or excuse me, map. Basically, all we're going to be doing, getting into this elevator, and we got some time to just kick back. How y'all doing?
Gaming!
That's Jared. Shout outs to Icy. Oh wait, the Fiend's not dead. Oh, I should probably be standing here. Hey there. Please don't kill me. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. I got beamed. There we go. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
That
The
Fiend.
music got louder again.
Oh, did it?
Did you hear?
No, I can't
It's
really
real
hear.
loud.
It's like really muffled. How's it going, chat? So there's actually a faster strat here than what I'm doing, but it's ridiculously difficult. And with how I'm playing right now, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. Basically, what you have to do is you have to go through the map after you start this elevator sequence in order to pick up a lightning gun. And then when you're going down an elevator, you need to shoot it at a very precise angle and pixel in order to kill the Spider Queen that's at the bottom of this elevator. Or it's not called a Spider Queen. I can't remember what the actual name of it is. Anyway, basically it will kill the enemy before you're even down here, which will cause the thing that's surrounding the rune that we need to pick up in order to exit the map to just basically be free right in front of us to appear. So we have to kind of wait for this thing to come down, and by wait I mean rocket jump to get above it. And now we're gonna exit E6, and we're gonna be headed up to our final chapter, E3. I said E6, I meant E2. Going to be picking up that super shotgun here, dodging these laser boys, and we're going to be doing a bit of a tricky jump where we have to kind of do like a double bunny hop. Get up there. There we go. Shout outs to Bruno for not being good at that trick. Making our way through. Killing all these enemies that are just getting in our way. And now we're going to be moving on to M2. We're going to be doing a skip that skips the trigger that causes that to go down like that. So we get the silver key pretty much right away, and we can bring it with us to the end of the map. I'm going to fire a couple of grenades down there in order to try to kill that fiend that's down there because he could be a jerk. So then we grab the golden key, which will open up the door to the exit. Moving on to E3 M3, we're going to immediately start off by doing a grenade boost. Let's try that again. There we go. Picking up a super health kit, and then we're going to be getting the silver key, which will allow us to go to the Tomb of Doom, as it is called. This map is called Tomb of Doom, and it's because of this section. There is way too much going on right now. There's enemies everywhere. They almost always block you. In fact, this is probably the best RNG I've gotten on this section in a while, aside from this guy kind of being there, but that's okay. Anyway, made it through the Tomb of Doom pretty easily. It might not even be called that. I don't know the map names too well. But anyway, this map we have to deal with fish. Thankfully, the fish did not bother us, but I missed the jump. One more time.
Those fish can block you super hard.
Yeah, the other day I lost like 2 minutes to it. It was pretty fantastic. But instead I'll just lose 2 minutes to this or something. We can do it. There we go. So that out of the water is pretty difficult. Should not take me that long, but hey, what can you do? Now we're going to boost ourselves here, hit the button, wait for the elevator to go up, and then we're going to be grabbing a lightning gun from behind this shampoo who just kind of appears. Give this guy a little love tap. Hey, get out of here. And 2 more maps, and then we're going to be moving on to the last map of the run, which is conveniently called End. It was a much simpler time back in 1996. Anyway, ignoring these fiends, hopefully they don't hit us. Hey, please don't do that. Don't do that either. We're going to be, hello, rocket jumping here and then rocket jumping again in order to rocket jumping again in order to be able to hit a trigger that's going to lower this platform, allowing us to go further in the map. Hit this button, which will open up a gate later on, get some health along the way, and we're going to go for a little bit of a swim. You'll be actually good too now.
Well, we have a $9 donation by Anonymous. Not that anonymous, but someone who's anonymous. And they say 600 hype, and they put it towards the Pokemon Snap Runner Sings in French, which is actually pretty close to completion. It's more than halfway through at $134 right now.
Get those donos in. Anyway, this is the last map before End. We're going to be doing, hopefully, a rocket jump that doesn't kill us. This is probably the scariest part of any single segment attempt, because those ball thingies that are just kind of bouncing on the top of the screen, they can very easily just run into you and kill you, and you know, you're like, basically if you hit that, your run is done, you win, because it's pretty much impossible to mess up End. So it's probably the most stressful thing I've ever done in a speedrun. But anyway, we're on map End, so we have to kill the racist tree. He has a name that you can't really say. I don't really know why they decided to name him that, but that's not okay. Anyway, we're going to be rocket jumping. Waiting up here for a little spiky ball, that spiky ball right there, to go inside the big racist tree. So once that's done, we'll be able to move on with our lives. We'll have murdered all the demons, and that's the run. There we go. And as you see, we teleport right inside that tree. We blow it up, and everything else blows up. There's just blood and guts everywhere. Congratulations and well done. You have beaten the Hideous and her hundreds of ugly changelings and monsters. You have proven that your skill and your cunning are greater than all the powers of Quake. You are the master now. id Software salutes you.
Sounds like a great idea.
All right.
Congratulations, Alex. You did great.
Gaming.
Gaming. Woo!
Gaming. Well, thank you, Alex, for the second run of the marathon. Let's hear it for Alex once again.
It's to NoReset for having us. Thank you for everything. We'll be back Sunday for Commerce Run. So, see you guys.
Well, thanks to all of you for being here with us and submitting your runs. It's always appreciated because, as I always say, no matter how much tech and how much production we bring, without runners, there's no show. So it's all about you guys. And thank you so much for being here with us. We truly appreciate it, and thank you for your support. And without further ado, we're going to move on to a quick transition to the last run of the night, which is going to be Resident Evil HD Remaster. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.